All right, we're at my friend's crib. This is Trey from Team OTK doing the deck profile of my bro Ed
It's
from
good.
Team OTK Monarch Deck
It's
profile.
good.
Let's get into it. Okay, here we go.
All right. First of all, we start out with Triple Aether. I see a lot of people tag Erebus as the best monster in the deck. Aether creates OTKs like it's nobody's business. And especially when I find out I search double of these, it's pretty much game because anything they do, I just chain out of it. And so yeah, this in my opinion is the best card in the game, or in the deck rather. I'm sorry. Next, triple Erebus. First turn Erebus is great. I love that. Making your opponent basically start out neg. It gets rid of pretty much, it gets over pretty much any other card your opponent is playing right now, especially in this format. Especially with the supplementary cards in the deck. It's just too good, and being able to mill out your deck to for both Erebus and Aether to set up your plays. No matter whether you start out, one of the good things about this deck is no matter whether you start out with the cards in hand or not to protect your monsters, you end up getting them anyway from the milling effects. So these are just really both. I mean, I wouldn't say they're broke, but they're really good. Next, I play two Vanity's Fiend. When you get out Vanity's Fiend in today's meta, people just lose. I really don't even have to talk much about this. It's just pretty much game over. No Pepe, especially if I go first. No Pepe. They have to really rely on Twin Twisters to get to out it, and a lot of people aren't even maining the card right now. Um, once again, them not being able to XE summon things like that, not being able to pendulum, it's pretty detrimental. Also, since we've seen kind of the decline of the magician pendulum monsters, they play Dragon Pit where you could pop something. And just more just regular basic rank force spam Pepe. They really don't have any way to out this except for seeing if they have Twin Twister, and it's pretty much GG after that when I get this out. Next, I play the one Majesty's Fiend in the main, mostly for Cosmo. I'm not going to take it out of the main deck. It's still too good. It still is very effective against Pepe and whatnot. It's Majesty's Fiend is what it is. It really goes without. Both of these cards really go without explanation. They just completely shut decks down. They've been doing that for several formats now, and they'll probably continue to do that in the future. This is a card. These type of cards, really, in my opinion, are cards that will never and really can't be power creeped. They have stout attack. They're 24. They're both searchable, and they'll just Majesty's searchable, but they're just too good. The game is always going to rely around monster effects and special summoning. So if you take away one of these attributes or in a situation where I'll have both, it's always going to be effective, and this is just too good of a card. Put the one Karas. At first, when I built the deck, I wasn't into the putting Karaz in the main idea or even incorporating the card, but the disruption plays I get with this and Aether have pretty much won me every game I get it off. Especially when my opponent is going for scales and they don't draw into anything that's going to help them. They had to rely on that play that they were making for their pendulum summon or whatnot, or their XC summon to get back in the game. Karas has to be in there. It just adds a wrinkle to the deck. Even if I want to bring it out, even if since this deck plays a lot of floodgates, and in some situations where you don't actually want to discard or whatnot, I can leave a floodgate up to treat it as draw fodder for Karaz effect. So when I pop something, I'll draw off of it, or I'll pop Karaz itself and another card and draw two. It's once again, after testing, I found out it's just really just too good of a card not to incorporate. That's it for my tribute monsters. Tribute fodder. We run the three Eidos. Once again, this is going to be what you're going to get your double summon effect off of. It also has a lot of supplementary plays with it's depending here. Edia. This pretty much is going to get out your tribute fodder. This is what's going to allow you to special summon, thin out your deck, get into your Eidos. Also, both of them have plays where they banish. Well, Edia is going to add things that are banished back from your banish zone to your hand. Any spell card that's been sent to the graveyard. And Eidos, who can banish this to get Edia back onto the field to summon out another Eidos, which is going to give you another double summon effect to go into your level 8 place. So that's it for my monsters.
Go.
Spells. Running triple pantheism.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what we want to say about this. We're just gonna say we're gonna run triple pantheism. I don't think we're gonna explain. I think we already know what pantheism does. It's just too good. It's just too good. Triple March of the Monarchs. This card's busted. This card's busted. This card is an auto win. I don't really care. It's an auto win. It makes my opponent neg so hard just to get it off the field. And by that time, I already have supplementary plays surrounding my floodgates, so I'm really not even worried about if it gets popped or not. Very rarely do they have the out instantly in their hand already. So they have to at least wait a turn or a couple turns to see if they can draw into something. Not being able to have 28 beaters to 24 to 28 beaters destroyed or targeted by card effects is just too good. I really don't even worry about back row at all. Not a lot of people are running back row, but at the same time, not a lot of people are running non-targeting back row either. Like things like Quaking Mirror Force, etc., Storming Mirror Force, those type of mass, you could say mass effect cards. Nobody's really running those, especially in the meta. And it also protects my cards from Solemn Strike. They might be able to negate the effect, but 9 times out of 10, I'm not really going to care if I get the effect off or not. I'll just run over what they have. So this card is just, I mean, it's completely broke. It's good, my dude. It's good. Run the 3 Stormforth. This Stormforth. Do I need to say anything? Stormforth. What? Do I need to say anything? It's Stormforth. Let's see. Run the most unfair card in the game. Run 3 of this. I'm not going to tell you the name because it's unfair.
The million.
I only run 2 Tenacity because 3 is just pointless. If you're running that many monsters to be able to run 3, you're not running the deck right. Main board, 2 Twin Twisters. Get over Pesky Floodgates. Get over Pendulum Scales. 1 Rhoda to get out my Edium. Run triple Prime Monarch. Once again, this is a lot of tribute fodder. This allows me to recycle all my resources. It's once again, I see people either running none of it to 1 of it, or possibly 2 of it tops. I don't know why they don't run it at 3. I really don't know what they're trying to do, but they need to run it at 3. This shuts everybody down. I don't know. I see people running none of this. This shuts everything down. They can't do anything. Being able to run basically double skill drain, triple skill drain. I don't understand the concept of not doing that. So, hey, anybody who's not running that, don't get it. Next, double Mind Crush. Double Mind Crush, no Skull Joker. I don't even mess around with Effect Veiler. I'd rather hit their whole hand. I'd rather wait for you to search and hit you with Mind Crush and then empty out your hand. Because chances are you're playing Pepe, they have doubles and triples or something else in their hand that they're looking to summon, Plush Fire, etc., Damage Jug, all that. I'd much rather run that. You can't Veiler a Trick Clown. I mean, you can't Veiler Skull Joker. I mean, you can Veiler Skull Joker, but you can't Veiler, Damage Jug. You can't do that, but you sure can Mind Crush it. And lastly, one Solemn.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, a little bit of a side note, just to be funny off the game with Yu-Gi-Oh for a little bit. I was taking a dump in the bathroom, and I had the light turned off, and a good friend of mine decided to barge in on me. If I'm not in the room or on the side or something, you could have at least knocked on the door and say, hey, if anybody in here says it's barging in. We barged in like a deer in the freaking headlights, like, oh my god.
Bro, delete that shit, man. I ain't about to get on YouTube and up you taking the shit.
Man! Hold on, what?
Bro, you ruined the video, bro.
I ruined the video?
No, I can edit it out.
Yeah.
Don't edit it out.
Oh.
Alright, side deck.
Oh, you recording?
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, recording.
Oh, I see. Yeah, for the
Oh my god, Solomon.
sideboard, have 2 proxies because they haven't come in the mail yet. Invader of Darkness. When I have Invader of Darkness, I'll show you a play. When I have Invader of Darkness with
I'm walking back.
Monarch Erupts,
Maybe how you know I didn't want to
March,
Don't you dare go. They're next on people.
And Dominion on the field. There is just no way to out in the current meta. I've tested this many times. I have not seen a way to out it. Invader of Darkness is an old card. Came out of Invasion of Chaos way back when in about 2004, 2005. And it stops you from playing quick play, your opponent rather from playing quick play spell cards. So, i.e., no Stormforth, no MST, no Twin Twisters, no basically the only things that people main or side to out these floodgates. And so when they can't do that, especially when I have something like this and a Majesty's Fiend face up, they just lose. I mean, there's just absolutely nothing. There's no combo that they can pull off that gets over that board. It's just too far too powerful. Run an extra Majesty's in the sideboard. 2 Lancia. We don't like Cosmo over here. And this is also very effective against side frames. You run into that occasionally. I thought that was going to be a bigger deck in the format, but it didn't pop off that way. Double Grand Horn of Heaven. No pendulums here. Wire tap just to get over, the Solemn Strikes if they do become too pesky or any other back row. My text. 1 deck dev, 1 crush guard, 1 eradicator. Every time I side these in, I get at least 2 of them off. I actually just wrecked my friend with crush guard really tough in my Clifford matchup. And that was pretty much game after that. I mean, what did I hit? Like 5 monsters.
Card can suck a dick.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. 1 escalation.
And I sip my tea.
Being able to tribute on my opponent's turn. And finally, I run the 1 Return of the Monarchs just to be able to search out extra things if I'm having trouble getting Monarchs into my hand. So, that's about it.
All right, I got one question.
What is that?
Do you ever worry about, clogging hands not being able to get your tributes off?
No. Though that can happen, any deck can brick. There's no deck that can't brick. I don't care what it is. I don't care any archetype that's ever been out. There's always a chance that you brick and just don't get what you want or don't have your ideal plays. And if that's the case, that's just the case. But overall, the deck is consistent if you understand the ins and outs of the deck. This is what I look at this, and I picked this up simply because I got tired of Pendulum. I'll be honest with you. I'm very sick of Pendulums. I think it's a ridiculously cheap mechanic. I think that in itself took all the skill out of the game. I can just summon a whole bunch of monsters, overlay them, and do whatever with it. I don't really think that takes any type of thought process at all. Just lay skill. I'm really against the idea of Pendulum. I understand Konami has to have a selling point, and I'm a grown man, so from a business standpoint, I understand that aspect. But at the same time, I think just as a gameplay aspect and the competitive aspect, I think it's one of the stupidest ideas that I've ever seen incorporated into a TCG. Trading card game, rather, not just the format of TCG itself. And I just got tired of it. I think this is a great deck because it's nostalgic, because Monarchs were a juggernaut way back when I was a teen. And Monarchs were pretty much the best thing you could pick up, but at the same time, they had their flaws and they had their drawbacks. There really was no supporting cards. There were some, but first of all, we didn't have archetypes back then. But even that being said, as things begin to progress, we got more Monarchs. We got more and more Monarchs, but no Monarch true support, no core cards that will allow you to run an engine. We had the frogs, the etc., but those were not, exclusive. Those were not, just Monarch fodder. And now we do. And I think it's also a skill deck. You have to really think about what you're going to do, what your opponent's next move is, and you just can't spam things. The floodgates are good, but floodgates are floodgates. Just get them off the field and you drown. So you can't necessarily just rely on them. You have to play them at the right time. You have to have the right setup, and you have to outthink your opponent. So I think this deck puts a lot of skill aspect back into the game. Once again, some of you disagree. It's just an opinion. Also, I think this is something that really does make the player have to engage and use their brain a little bit, because it's not just helmet. I think we've seen a little bit too much helmet from the meta now. This has been, let's say, the past 2 years. Has been a lot of helmet. We looked at the last format we had. Teller's helmet, Khalid helmet, Necros I think was probably the only skill deck there. People were complaining about it being overpowered, but I think personally it deserved to be, because you had to understand your plays, you had to understand your resources, you had to understand what to use and what not to use. And it had its weaknesses. So you have to be a skilled player to utilize this deck. I think this is, in my opinion, kind of the Necroz of this format. Though I don't really believe this deck is going to be meta. I think personally, when things come out, what is that? I know my buddy's looking forward to picking up Raid Raptors, and what's that set coming out before Shining Victories?
Ring Raiders.
Wing Raiders. I think some things are going to be coming out of Shining Victories, where this deck is going to be used less and less because people, by and large, they like the Pendulum, XCs, spam. They like that, and I think it's not a lot of people that like the aspect of not being able to go into an extra deck or whatnot. And I think you're going to see this probably be the best anti-meta deck we've probably seen in the game. And I think it's going to be around for a long time as well. I don't think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of those things that kind of slides into the ban list almost every time because it's getting used less and less and less, but it'll never stop being effective. So that's about it.
All right, man. It's my buddy Ed from Team OTK. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, Team OTK, and like and share your comments. All right, bye.